Hi, this is Don Solon, pastor at Fields of Grace Worship Center. We are a non-denominational church with a contemporary casual atmosphere. We are a church committed to reaching outside our walls while at the same time caring for those that call Fields of Grace home. Maybe you know Fields of Grace by all our community events. You are always welcome to come on over for a cup of coffee Sunday mornings and check us out at fieldsofgrace.org for service times.
Welcome to BuccsWeekly Week 10. We are going to start things off with junior cross-country runner Paige Boehringer, who qualified for the state cross-country meet. This will be her third trip to state. The last 2 years, her freshman and sophomore year, she went as part of the team. The whole team qualified. And this year, you'll be running alone. So can you tell us about how your race at a regional meet went?
I had a really good race. I mean, all season I've just kind of been, kind of level. It hasn't been a great season, so I was really just hoping for a really nice meet there. That way, that would kind of make all the rest of the season just better. So, I got there and I just competed really hard, and it felt great to cross the line knowing that I had made it.
And what place did you finish at regionals?
I got 11th. Okay,
and that had to be pretty difficult because it was, we had all the rain, Friday night before, and I bet the track was pretty muddy. So how tough were the conditions running over there?
It was really cold, and like you said, it was pretty muddy in some areas, and it was also really windy down like under the levee.
And so what do you do as a runner? How do you kind of overcome that and still be able to focus on your race?
I just do all the things that I can. I just try and control all the things I can control and know that everybody else is running in the same conditions as me, so you just can't use that as an excuse.
Okay, so then this weekend you'll be competing at state, and that's at Huron, right?
Hebron.
Yeah. Hebron, sorry. So what's your goals going over there this year?
I would definitely like to PR. I haven't had an actual PR all year, so that is definitely a big goal, and it's pretty reasonable. I've always ran really well there, so.
So how much is your past experience, you think, going to help you going in?
I think it will help a lot because I won't be as nervous because I already know the course and I know what it's like to run there, so I don't think my nerves will be as rattled.
Okay, well, good luck to Paige Boehringer this weekend as she competes at the state cross-country meet. And up next, we'll have Coach Case from the football team.
Hello, my name is Ron Sutherland, president of Covington Savings and Loan. We have been a part of the Covington and the surrounding community since 1886. We have been serving both savings and loan customers and help promoting home ownership. Stop by and talk with Jason for your lending needs or see Diane in Brooklyn for all your savings needs. Thank you for your continued support to help Covington Savings and Loan continue to support the Covington community. FDIC approved.
Welcome back to BuccsWeekly Week 10. The Bucks are coming off of a narrow 7-6 victory over National Trail last week to close out the season at 5-5. And I'm here with Coach Ty Cates. And Coach, it was a nail biter.
Yes, it was. It was a scary game. It was a torrential downpour. The entire game it didn't let up. It was a monsoon, so weather like that is the equalizer. We moved the ball well multiple times. I think we were in the red zone 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. Fumbled once, turned it over on downs twice, missed the field goal. Then we scored, so I guess maybe 5 times.
We had an interception too.
Yeah, on the first drive.
Yeah.
So, but we weren't in the red zone. We threw a pick, and that pick's on me. The ball was that wet. I shouldn't have called that pass play, but tribute to our kids is the first half was ugly. I'll just be honest. It was not a Covington first half, and the boys will tell you I was not very happy at halftime. Tried to get them fired up for the second half. I was really proud of our effort in the second half, and defensively couldn't be more proud. Till that one drive that they drived it on us and they scored, but we made just enough plays to win the game. Zach on that pass breakup was huge. At the end of the game, they went for 2 to beat us, and it was scary. I had a little mini heart attack, but it was great for our kids to come out with a win. It was ugly, but we'll take the W. Good way to finish our season, in a 3-game winning streak to finish the season. It wasn't the season that we wanted it to be, but it was good for our seniors to go off with a victory to finish their senior year. So I was happy about that.
And it was. I mean, it was. It didn't matter what kind of rain gear you had on or whatever. You were getting wet clear down to the bone. I mean, it was a torrential downpour, and those kind of conditions made us one-dimensional. And even though we had to run the ball, we basically took our passing game away. But even though we were one-dimensional, we almost tripled them in offensive output. I mean, I think we had close to 300 yards of offense, and they only had 99 or 100 or whatever it was. So, like you said, we were still able to move the ball, so that's credit to the kids to be able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Our line played pretty well, Friday night. Overall, we ran the ball pretty well, but like you said, when you're one-dimensional like that, they ended up putting their safeties in the box, and I couldn't get them out of the box because we weren't able to throw the ball, so we were playing against 11 guys in the box when we were hopefully get those safeties out of there. But those safeties were linebacker depth or tighter coming up, and we couldn't throw the ball. I mean, we tried to a couple times. The balls were soaked. We don't have a ball warmer, ball dryer. We kept trying to get, our towels were soaked by the end of the first half. It was tough to just grip the football and throw it, so we just had to challenge them. They're playing in the same conditions we are. We need to be able to run the football, and thankfully we were able to do that against, like you said, bad conditions, couldn't really get traction. And also, they have 11 guys in the box. It makes it difficult to block 11 guys in the box.
Well, and defensively, they really didn't move the ball hardly at all until I think we fumbled there. We had a chance to really put the game away there late in the game, and then we had a couple first downs and got the time down to around 2 minutes, and we had a fumble near midfield. After that, they had that last drive, like you said, that's the only time in the game at all that they moved the ball. So our defense was...
Yeah, our defense was lights out. Coach Wise actually talked to me at halftime and said, hey, onside kick to start the second half. I'm like, you serious? He goes, oh, yeah. He said, our defense is stopping them. I trust it if we don't get it. And tribute to our kickoff team and Ethan kicking that. We were 4 for 4 on onside kicks this year. So we got one Friday night. But yeah, our defense, he had so much confidence in how the defense was playing, and I did too, that we went ahead and onside and we got it, fortunately. And I think we scored on that, actually, that drive that we got the ball back. Cade had a nice bootleg run that got us down there in close, and Ethan punched it through. But yeah, our defense played awesome. Joey Schmelzer's been lights out all year on defense, and Parker Geisinger, and our defensive line like Jesse Fisher and Teague Deaton, guys like that. And Gage has been a monster at nose. Our defense has just gotten better every week, and our defensive backs have been tough. Our defense just got better and better all the time, and they played really well Friday night. And it would have been very upsetting if they would have got that 2-point conversion and won, considering how much we outplayed them in the game. But it just goes to show you what that type of weather can do to a team. And once again, turnovers. We have 3 or 4 turnovers, and when you have that, then you put yourself in a bad situation.
And like I said, the Bucks finished up at 5-5, and we'll take a break, and Coach Case will talk about each one of the seniors.
Color Green Photo offers a variety of photographic options for high school seniors, weddings, and families. We pride ourselves in providing creative and captivating images that have a special meaning to those we shoot. Please visit colorgreenphoto.com to view samples of our work and contact us at 937-418-0417 to schedule your next photo session.
Covington Eagles does a lot for this school and this program. We need to give them some thanks. On 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Eagles! Yeah!
Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles! Woo! Thank you, Covington Eagles, for all you do for Covington schools. Go Bucks!
We're back at Week 10 of Bucks Weekly with Coach Cates again, and we're going to talk about each one of the 7 Buccaneer senior football players. And Coach, you want to begin with Bryce Kaiser?
Bryce Kaiser, I'll tell you what, I've been here for 2 years, and that kid works his tail off. Very interesting kid, very funny kid, not very athletic, but he works his tail off. He's pretty strong in the weight room, believe it or not, but a very nice kid. Do anything for anybody. He did the most amount of community service on our draft teams. You wanted him on your draft team because I give points for that. And he did so much community service. He loves to help people out. He'd do anything for anybody, take his shirt off his back for anybody. But, in terms of football, he did not get a lot of playing time. But when he did, he gave everything he had. We were able to get him a touchdown against South, and I think that really made his night. And he was on the field goal team. And he did get to play in about 4 games this year, offense and defensive line. But a great kid. He's excited about college. I believe he got into Bowling Green. I think if he keeps that same work ethic up, he's going to be very successful. Great kid though, and I'm going to miss him and going to miss his humor. Sometimes, not so much, but sometimes we will, and I think I will end up missing him. There's an inside joke that the coaches would say he's my son, kidding around because of how many opportunities I gave the kid. It just shows you I always want to repay kids that work really hard, and Bryce is one of those kids that works really hard, and it's unfortunate that he didn't get to play more, but he never batted an eye, he never gave up, and he always kept working hard, and I always remember him for his work ethic.
Okay, and up next, senior lineman Bowen Swing.
Bowen, he started for Coach Miller, I believe, his sophomore year, and he ended up starting on the line for me both years on the offensive line, and we got pretty close on the offensive line. He's a smart kid on the offensive line, was able to pick up the plays pretty well, especially with a whole new offense coming in, and he was able to this year to talk to the guys about our blocking schemes, and so he did a good job, but he's not a very big guy, and that's something that I think it hurt him when he was out there. He's just not a very big kid. Decently strong in the weight room, wish he would have been stronger, but he made up for it he did play hard, and he knew what he was doing, and Coach Wiggins always tells our kids, knowledge is power. If you don't know the plays, you can't play. And Bowen always knew what he was supposed to be doing, so that gave him an opportunity. But he played really hard when he was out there. He didn't get to play a ton of defense this year, played more offense, but at moments looked really good, and then other moments he didn't. And so he was just kind of a streaky roller coaster player this year. I think that he would agree with that statement. But I was glad to get him a touchdown against Twin Valley South as well, and it shows the trust I had in Bowen as the first drive of the game. I knew that he was going to protect the football, I really wanted it for Bowen. He's been a starter for us for 2 years. I'd like to give our lineman a touchdown, and he's worked his tail off. Wish he would have been more vocal with the lineman, because when he did, the lineman listened to him. I'll miss his work ethic as well, and just a kid like that gets it pretty easy in terms of blocking schemes, and we'll miss that guy that's got a ton of experience coming back.
Okay, and up next, senior Bradley Wiggins, Wiggy.
Yeah, Brad is one of those interesting situations. We were at a 7-on-7 2 years ago when I first got the job. We were over at Northmont, and I had been begging him because I look at his size. I'm like, man, and I'm like, Brad, I throw the ball. You need to play. And I kept getting on him, and then finally he decided to play football, and I was so thrilled that he decided to play. And he did a great job for us, but he battled injuries, and I could have said that about Bowen with some concussions he had, but Brad broke his collarbone this year. Last year he came in, he came in and he filled spots at times last year, played a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense, but with Zach and Tristan out there, he didn't get a ton of receiver reps. This year we were expecting him to take on a huge role, and man, he looked good at the 7-on-7s. Now we don't know what that would have amounted to, but he broke his collarbone at a 7-on-7 that he went and dove for a ball over the middle. But he was being more physical in practice, and we were so excited, so we were bummed out for him. He didn't come back, I think, until like week 4 or week 5, could be wrong, but he did a good job when he's in there. He caught some nice passes. I would have really liked to see what we could have done if he was in there in the first 3 tough games, having him out there as a tall target to throw to. But he's a funny kid, and I'm glad that I was able to, talk him into playing. He had to come watch his brother anyway, so that helped a lot. I think Little Wiggy helped him come out, and with his dad on staff too. Bowen and Brad have their dads on the coaching staff, so that's been interesting for both of them, I'm sure. But Brad was able to score 3 touchdowns. I think this year had some decent catches, and defensively he got so much more physical. He improved so much on his physicality, and that's what I was impressed with. And it just, with a kid like that, what could he have done if he would have played all 4 years? Brad's one of those kids, especially in the weight room, he wasn't near as strong as what I think he could have been. And I think that he'll regret that. And he even told the kids that when we were talking about our seniors passed the torch through the tradition. I kept that, where the seniors talk and address the team on our equipment turn-in day, and Brad talked about don't be stupid like me, play all 4 years, stick it out. Because I do believe Brad played his freshman year, is that right? And then he quit his sophomore year and he came back out for me his junior year. But I will miss just cracking some jokes with Brad. He's a funny kid, and I'll miss throwing it to him. I wish I would have got to throw it to him more. A big tall target like that is nice to have.
Okay, and then senior running back, defensive back Ethan Herron.
Ethan's a 4-year letterman. He battled some injuries as well. His junior year, man, he was looking so good before he hurt his knee. He was our leading rusher going to that point, and Lance ended up having a monster season after that. But I only got to see him play in a few games, but I had really high expectations for him. He did a nice job on both sides of the ball. I was really excited to coach that kid, coaching against him at Twin Valley South, seeing the talent that he had. And then this year, he just had a streaky season. It's one of those seasons we wish would have been different. I know he does, especially. He looked good at times, and other times he didn't. But he's a big, strong running back, tough to bring down. Man, when we started finally get good at inside zone, man, he looked good against Miami East running that. That's something we've been working on this year. He ran the ball well against them. He ran the ball well against Bethel. Wish he would have ran it a little bit better first few games, but he needed some help with the line too. But we all needed to play better. But defensively, that one pick six he had was awesome against Laramie, and then his one to be heads up enough to get that pick against South and pitch it back to Zach. That was pretty, heady of a kid to be able to do in the spot like that. And I thought that at times he hit pretty hard. I think that he still, though, favored that knee. I think that knee in the back of his mind always bothered him. Coming off that knee injury, I think he sometimes was scared that was going to happen again, and I think that restricted him sometimes. And I think when he didn't think about it, that's when he played great. But when he started to think about his knee, I think that's when he played worse. But I'm definitely going to miss that kid. Miss giving him the ball. Wish we would have got him more yardage. Wish, a couple of those games he would have taken over and we would have been able to win some of those close games. But it didn't work out for us. Well, he was a good leader for us this year. We're going to miss him in that regard. But 4-year letterman, it's hard to replace that type of experience. And we're going to miss him actually probably, I think. A lot of people think we'll miss him more at running back. I think we'll miss him more in the secondary. I mean, he's been that leader back there in the secondary for 2 years now. Or 4 years. He's been starting defensive back for 3 or 4 years. But, that kind of experience this year, he was definitely our defensive back leader back there, knowing the coverages and things like that. So, and we were a senior-heavy team in the secondary. If there's one thing this year we weren't young, it was defensive back. And he was the leader of that. Andrew and Cade were the only underclassmen that got, Schaefer got a little bit of time, but it was mainly Zach, Ty, and Ethan in the secondary.
Okay, and up next, Zach Parrott.
Oh, Zach. That kid, thankfully that he came back out. I heard about this kid when I first got the job, and I saw him first. I'm like, that kid has to play. So I think I hounded him more than I did anyone when I first got the job because, I like to throw the ball, and I've never really had a true tall target. J.J. Utz at South was a nice fast target I had, but I never had a tall target to throw to. And so I was drooling over like, man, this kid has to play. And I'm so glad he did. Zach was just Mr. Laid Back. Nothing fazed him. Go up and make plays. Sometimes I wish he wasn't so laid back and be more physical and be more consistent that way. But the reason why he didn't chicken out on those pressure situations is because nothing fazed him. So it did work out for him in that way. But anytime we needed a play, I always felt comfortable. Throw it up to Zach, he'll go get it. And his junior year, he bailed us out so many times, and really helped that awesome season that we had. And heck, he had a pick six against Fort Recovery in the playoffs. I mean, he was never fazed by a situation. I wish he would have been stronger, got more serious about the weight room, and just took things a little more serious. But I'm going to miss that kid. He loves these kids love stupid music, in my opinion. But Juju on that beat song, Zach would always be dancing on Thursday nights. I'll miss that. And just because he's got a really good personality, and all of our kids do. But Zach, it was a really special kid, and I'll miss throwing to him. A lot of our offense was through Zach. I like to throw to him. You got a target like that, you got to use him. And I think every team knew that because he got doubled and tripled a lot this year. He drew a lot of attention, and he still led the league in receptions. I think the Ansonia kid had a little bit of more yardage than him. We didn't get him near as many scores as we would like, but I think he had 36 catches for 500 yards, which is a pretty good season, a solid season with a sophomore quarterback and a young line too. But yeah, Zach's going to be greatly missed.
Okay, and then linebacker and fullback Joe Schmelzer.
Joey is he's a very strong kid. You talk about a kid that got serious about the off season. He grew so much between junior and senior year on he cared about his diet, and he got big and strong. Man, he gained probably 20 pounds of muscle. He looked really good, but he overdid it, and so he battled shin splints. And he has a great work ethic. The kid has a high motor. I'm definitely going to miss his intensity and his high motor, but with those shin splints, it was a nagging injury all year, and he still had 113 tackles, I believe, 5 sacks. We ran the ball with him some at the beginning of the year, kind of went away from it to try to save his legs, but he was battling that all year, and if he wouldn't have been, I can only imagine how many more tackles he had and more things he would have done. I took him away from tight end and fullback, and he could have really helped us offensively, but we needed him. He was, our leader on the defense. We had to have Joe out there. Joe did an excellent job leading the defense and being our commander out there. I know Coach Wise will miss him a lot, just making the calls out there. And you look at our highlight film that we put together, I feel like every time there's a defensive highlight, it's him or Geisinger. Joe made so many great plays defensively and saved us. And I'll never forget his 4th down stop against South, against that big kid that ran the ball. That was a phenomenal stop. But Joe's a freak, in the weight room, and he had great work ethic, phenomenal kid. He's got great work ethic. He's going to be successful in life because of that, and he's a great leader. We'll definitely miss Joe, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay, and last but not least, Ty Freeman.
Freebird, Ty is one of those kids that I can't tell you how proud of that kid I am. He came in, he probably thought he was going to be starting quarterback. He probably heard that from a lot of people, and he didn't bat an eye when we asked him, you make our team better in another spot. Not to say he wouldn't have done a good job at quarterback. The way for us to get the best 11 on the field, we moved him to receiver, and he didn't bat an eye. He took it like a great kid would do. I couldn't ask for a kid to handle that situation better. He's been a lockdown corner and a physical kid since I've been here. He'll hit anybody. He's not scared of anybody, and I'll miss his physicality for sure. I mean, he got the Hammer Award. We give out an award for big hits of the year. He got that, I think, 3 times on the year. Heck, he led us in pancakes one week, which isn't good for my offensive line, but he, I think, had 5 or 6 in one game, pancake blocks, driving guys, to the whistle, 20 yards downfield and dumping them. And then, he caught a lot of passes as well. I mean, he was our second in receptions and yards. I wish I could have got him the ball more too, because he's so dangerous in space, and I wish we would have got it to him more. But great kid, going to be successful. I was really glad that he worked on. He was one of those kids that could get frustrated real easy in the past, and I really didn't see it out of him this year. He really matured and fixed that, where you get in his. We have a lot of kids that get in their own heads, and then they're not going to be very good, and they hurt themselves. And, they're only going to be as good as they let themselves be. And Ty didn't let himself in his old ways come back, and I was really proud of him. He had a really good senior year, and it's unfortunate the way that these seniors had to go out 5-5. We definitely had more talent than what we played, and so they'll definitely be frustrated about that. But they did always play hard, and some of them I know will be successful in college football if they decide to do that. And if they don't decide to do that, they'll be successful in life because they have good work ethic. They've been raised the right way. But obviously our season didn't go how they wanted. We'd all do anything to go back, but we're just going to try to remember the good things. And then for our young guys, hopefully build off and learn from these mistakes so we don't have to go through a 5-5 season at Covington again.
Okay, well that's it for week 10 of Bucks Weekly with Coach Cates. So for Ben Robinson and Coach Cates, good night.
Go Bucks.
This is Andy Johnson of Bucks Radio, the voice of Covington Buccaneers. Here to encourage Buccaneer fans to support local businesses. Your patronage of local businesses goes a long way in allowing them to continue to support Covington schools and Covington athletics.